Now let's see the structure of cyclohexane. So as just we have seen that cyclohexane is a strain-free ring. There is no any angle strain, and it exists in chair conformation, that is puckered ring structure. So here it is, the folded ring structure or puckered ring structure. It has no any angle strain as well as torsional strain. It is the most stable, and this is known as a chair conformation. Chair conformation. Okay, let's see the different conformation. Not only chair conformation is possible for cyclohexane, there are some other conformations are also there. So let's see one by one different conformation of cyclohexane. So first is chair conformation. So in chair conformation, if you see here, four carbons. Which four carbons? 2, 3, 5 and 6. If you see here, they're making a one plane. They're making a one plane. So that plane is known as an average plane. Average plane of the molecule. Okay. And C1 carbon, if you see, that is above the average plane, and C4 carbon is below the average plane, or C1 carbon is below the average plane, or C4 carbon is above the average plane. Okay, so both possibilities will be there. So average plane, if you see here, 2 3 5 6, 2 3 5 6, it's same, only this carbon number 1, sometimes it may be to the upper side or it may be to the lower side. Similarly for carbon number 4. So this is the chair conformation. Now in this chair conformation, so there are two types of bonds present. Which are the two types of the bonds? Axial and equatorial bonds. So if you see in this chair form here, okay, here if you see, so 6 carbons are there, and I have shown here 12 hydrogens. 12 hydrogens. These all 12 hydrogens are not equivalent. There are two sets of hydrogens present in the chair form of cyclohexane. So out of the 12, 6 form a one set, that is the axial bonds, and remaining 6 are equatorial bonds. Now let's see which are the axial and which are the equatorial bonds. First we will see the axial bonds. So see this circled hydrogens I have shown here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. These 6 hydrogen atoms which are nearly perpendicular to the average plane. Not exactly, but nearly perpendicular to the average plane. Or if you are passing any axis through this molecule, axis, central axis, the central axis. So these bonds are parallel to the center axis passing through the center of molecule. These bonds are known as axial bonds. Carefully if you see here, so 1, 2, 3, 3 bonds or 3 axial bonds are projected to above the average plane, and remaining 3 are below the average plane. That's the important thing here. So 3 axial bonds are above the plane and 3 remaining axial bonds are below the plane. If you see their orientation, see, so above, below, then again above, below, above, below. So axial bonds projected above and below the plane alternatively. That's the important thing. Okay. Now let's go for the equatorial bond. Now if you see the equatorial bonds, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 again, all these 6 hydrogen atoms which are projecting outward and are in the average plane. Usually they are in the average plane and projecting outward from the molecule, projecting outward. Okay, These bonds are known as the equatorial bonds. Again, if you see the directions, this is the below, above, below, above, below, above. Very similar to axial bonds, equatorial bonds also projected above and below the plane alternatively. Okay, so these are the two types of the bonds present in the cyclohexane chair conformation. That's the axial and equatorial. Now we have to see one of the important phenomena related to the chair conformation of cyclohexanes. Suppose we have this chair conformation of cyclohexane, it's a chair form. The numbers are given 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Suppose I'm pressing this carbon number 1 from upper side, so obviously it will go down, and if I'm lifting this carbon number 1 up, so that fourth carbon will go up and carbon number 1 will go down. So what you will get here, if you see this chair conformation, you will see. So carbon number 1 will go down and carbon number 4 will go up, and you'll get the another chair form. Another chair form, that's the B chair form. This is the reversible. If you are pressing again carbon number 4 down and carbon number 1 go, if you are lifting up, so you'll get the A chair form again. So one chair form is converted into another chair form here. So this phenomenon is known as a ring flipping. So the conversion of one form of chair into another form is known as a ring flipping. So I think all of you are getting it more clear what is ring flipping. So one chair form is converted into another chair form. So see here, carbon number 1 is going down and carbon number 4 is going up. Okay. Now, if you see here, one of the important thing in ring flipping, just I have shown the axial and equatorial bonds here. If you see that blue bonds, these all are the axial bonds, and the red bonds are the equatorial bonds. So what happens during the ring flipping, all equatorial bonds, if you see now, all equatorial bonds that are red. Okay, first we'll see this axial bonds. All axial bonds which are blue previously, they are now equatorial. So all axial bonds are converted into equatorial. Similarly, if you see, all equatorial bonds are now becomes axial, and that's the beauty of this ring flipping. All axial bonds are converted to equatorial and all equatorial bonds are converted to axial. Okay, so all of you are getting this, what happens during the ring flipping. So here what changes occur after ring flipping, already we have seen that. Just see here, all axial bonds converted to equatorial bonds, all equatorial bonds converted to axial bond. Now this is important, direction or projection of the bonds remains unchanged. Upward remains upward, downward remains downward. So let's confirm it. Let's confirm it. Here it is. See the carbon number 1. See the direction of this axial bond, it is upward. See the carbon number 1, blue bond, direction is still upward. See the equatorial bond, direction is downward. As it becomes now axial, direction is still downward. So direction is not changed, projection is not changed. If it is a upward, it remains upward. If it is a downward, it remains downward. and that's the important thing during the ring flipping you have to remember. Okay, and last point related to this, stability of conformations can be affected by ring flipping. So it depends on what type of substituents present at axial and equatorial position. So that decides the stability of conformation. So obviously a ring flipping is the major phenomenon that decides stability of conformation also. Okay. Now let's see the 1,1 disubstituted cyclohexane compound. How stability is affected by ring flipping. Suppose you have this 1,1 disubstituted cyclohexanes at the carbon number 1. Both the substituents are present, X and Y. 1,1 disubstituted cyclohexane. So here just we have shown the ring flipping here. This is the ring flipping. So carbon number 1 will go down and carbon number 4 will go up. So when ring flipping takes place, X is axial here. X group is at axial position. Now it should be at equatorial after ring flipping. Y is equatorial. It should be axial. But the direction is remains same. Downward, downward. Upward, upward. Okay. So A and B. So these are the two chair conformations. Now we have to decide the stability. Which form is stable? A or B? Which form is stable? Which conformation is stable? A or B? So it depends on size of X and Y. What's the size of X and Y? Now when the bulkier groups are present at axial position, I'll repeat. When bulkier groups present at axial position, then it will create more steric interactions as well as butane-Gauss interaction when alkyl substituents are present. So which increases the internal energy of the molecule and therefore molecule becomes unstable. So in short, what you have to remember, bulkier group should be at equatorial position for more stable conformation, or the conformation in which bulkier groups are present at equatorial position, that conformations are more stable. Here it is. See, when bulkier group at equatorial position, more stable is the conformation. If X is bulkier group, then which is more stable conformation, A or B? X is bulkier. See here, if X is bulkier and X in A conformation at axial position, so obviously this is the unstable. In case of B, X is at the equatorial position, so B should be more stable. So if X is bulkier, then B is more stable than A. Okay. If Y is bulkier, then obviously A is more stable than B. And if X and Y both are same, then A and B conformations are identical and have equal stability. Okay. Now let's go for the next. Next conformation. So we have seen now chair conformation. Now second conformation of cyclohexane is boat conformation. Now again it both form 4 carbons. If you see this 4 carbons, C2, C3, C5 and C6, that are present in one plane again. That is obviously called as the average plane. And now carbon number 1 and carbon number 4, these are above the average plane, or what's the other possibility? 1 and 4 carbons are below the average plane. So both conformation are the boat conformation. So 2, 3, 5, 6 present in the average plane, C1 and C4 either above the average plane or below the average plane. Okay, so this is about the boat conformation. Now let's compare in chair and boat which is the most stable. Comparison of chair and boat conformation. So here is the chair conformation and this is the boat conformation. Now we'll just draw the Newman projection of chair conformation, and here it is the Newman projection of this chair conformation of cyclohexane. So you have to see from this side. So this is the side towards yourself. So from this side you are seeing. So this is the front carbon, carbon number 2, and carbon number 1 is a back carbon. Carbon number 4 is a front carbon and carbon number 5 is the back carbon. Okay, so as 2 and 4 are the front carbons, they are shown by vertex of circle. Okay, so that is 2 and 4, and the remaining carbons are shown here. Okay, so 1 and 5, that's the circle represented by circle. So 3 and 6 are shown here. So carbon number 3 is joined to 2 and 4, and carbon number 6 is joined to 5 and carbon number 1. Okay, now if you see here, in case of chair conformation, so there is no any hydrogen closer to each other. All are going away from each other. Okay, so if you see at the dihedral angle, so dihedral angle is about the 60 if you are taking the angle between these two. So this particular conformation is known as a staggered conformation. If you are taking this hydrogen and this hydrogen, so angle is 180. So this is also known as an anti-conformation or staggered conformation. So there is no any eclipsing hydrogens present. And as there is no any eclipsing hydrogen, no any angle strain present, so this particular chair conformation is highly stable, and therefore energy is considered to be 0 kilocalorie. But if you are taking the boat conformation, so in boat conformation what happens? Now if you are seeing this Newman projection, so you have to see from this side. Okay, so 2 and carbon number 6, now these becomes the front carbons, and 3 and 5 becomes the rear carbon, and carbon number 1 obviously to your side, and 4 that's going away from you. Okay, so here is the Newman projection. Now if you see in this Newman projection, so here see this hydrogen they having dihedral angle 0. So these are the eclipsing hydrogens. So how many pairs of eclipsing hydrogens? 1, 2, 3, 4. So there are 4 pairs of eclipsing hydrogens present in boat conformation. In addition to that, there are 2 flagpole hydrogens are present. Now why they are called as a flagpole? So they just look like a flag, and these flagpole hydrogens are interacting with each other because the sum of the van der Waals radii of these two hydrogens, it's a 2.5 angstrom, and the space available here is just 1.8 angstrom, and therefore they are trying to repel each other, and that increases the energy of molecule, making the molecule unstable. So two factors present in case of boat conformation, that is eclipsing pair of hydrogens as well as flagpole interaction, that increases the energy of boat conformation. Here it is the information related to that. Okay, so chair form is more stable than boat conformation because in chair form the hydrogen atoms attached to any two adjacent carbon atoms are staggered, obviously that we have seen, and torsional strain is minimum, as well as no eclipsing hydrogen atoms present, and hence the energy of chair conformation is considered to be 0 kilocalorie per mole. But in boat conformation, already we have discussed, there are 4 pairs of eclipsing interactions as well as flagpole interaction is present. And due to that, two important factors, energy of boat conformation is increases about 7.1 kilocalorie per mole. And hence, if you are comparing chair and boat conformation, chair form is more stable than boat conformation. So remember that. Okay. Now let's see the next conformation. Skew or twist boat conformation. It looks like a again boat, but it is a twist boat. Now why that twisting is there? So here just we have seen that flagpole hydrogens are present. So they are repelling with each other. Okay. So energy of molecule is increases. So to avoid this flagpole interaction as well as the eclipsing pairs, so these two flagpole hydrogens move apart from each other. How? By twisting. By twisting this boat. Okay. So what happens here? So hydrogen present at the carbon number 3 and carbon number 6. Now they are coming closer to each other. Just twisting is there. Okay. So 3 and 6. Therefore, these two hydrogens are going away from each other. And you are getting this twist boat conformation. So it's a modified version of boat conformation. Okay, so in which flagpole hydrogens are moved away to decrease the van der Waals strain or steric strain. And as already we have discussed that torsional strain due to the eclipsing interaction also decrease some extent, and hence the energy of twist boat is about 5.5 kilocalorie, obviously, which is less than boat conformation. So if you are comparing boat and twist boat, so twist boat is more stable than boat conformation, because boat conformation having energy is 7.1 and for twist boat it is 5.5 kilocalorie per mole. Okay. Now next is half chair conformation. Half chair conformation. What is half chair conformation? So here it is the chair conformation. If you are just only lifting one carbon up, suppose carbon number 4 is lifting up. So what happens there? So 5 carbons, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. They are now becomes in a one plane and only one carbon is above the plane. So here it is. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They are present in a one plane and only one carbon is above the plane. So this conformation possesses angle strain as well as torsional strain, and therefore energy of this conformation is very high. It's about 11 kilocalorie per mole, and hence this is the least stable conformation of cyclohexane. So we have seen 4 conformations of cyclohexane: chair conformation, boat conformation, twist boat conformation, and finally half chair conformation. So remember that all these 4 conformations. Okay. So thank you very much for watching this video. Please subscribe my channel Chemistry Basics and press the bell icon button so you'll get the notification of the next video. And if you like this video, please share and comment in the comment box. Thank you very much.